And welcome to another one of Drew's book reviews. Today's review will be Brandon Sanderson's Firefight, Book 2 of the Reckoner series. So just to fill you in a little bit, as I was not doing the video reviews when I read the first book, Steelheart, just explain the series a little bit. So the concept behind this series is really cool. Something that I really like, very different approach to the whole idea of people with superpowers. We've got all these action movies out there in the Marvel universe where all the superheroes have these superpowers like Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, all these great powerful heroes that are using these advanced technologies and powers to do good and to fight crime and to be the heroes of our day. But in this, it's a little bit different. See, the guys with the superpowers are actually the bad guys, and they're wreaking havoc and reigning over the earth with tyranny over the people who don't have the superpowers and the means to fight back, which is really kind of a cool concept. So how do citizens, how do the individual people, how do the good guys effectively fight back against this group of people with these superpowers? Now, it wasn't always like this. The setting, it takes place in the near future from now. How far in the future? Don't quite know, but the near future. And the idea is this catastrophic celestial event happened, simply referred to as calamity. And that started the gradual change and process, and people started getting these superpowers. But not everybody, only a few people, a select few, got these superpowers, and they started taking advantage of these powers. They started corrupting them, creating these super villains who would dominate the world and basically reign with terror over the people. It seems that every city and major metropolitan area across the world now has these evil villains ruling them. So the series takes place around the central character's point of view. His name's David, and he's from New Chicago, which is the remade city of Chicago, and the supervillain, or the epic as they're referred to in these books, had been ruled over by this epic named Steelheart. In the first book, he manages to die off because David, our main character, he manages to kill him. So that's a quick summary of the basic concept behind this series. And the first book, you'll have to read it to get more details on how that played out. Really good, by the way. Definitely recommend you pick up Steelheart first if you're going to read this. So we've now moved on to our second book in the series. Now, it's called The Reckoners. So the Reckoners are essentially a group of people who have banded together to fight the Epics. They want to overthrow the reign of terror and restore things back to normalcy. And the interesting thing with these epics is that each one of them has a unique weakness. The trouble is, nobody knows what their weaknesses are. They have to try and identify and find them. And often the weaknesses will not make any sense whatsoever at all. For example, Steelheart could only be killed by somebody who didn't actually fear him. So in order to win or remain control over the people, maintain control, he had to make sure everybody constantly was in a state of perpetual fear in order for him to rule the people. And often their weaknesses themselves simply don't make sense, or they're these really odd quirks and odd things that you wouldn't think in and of themselves are a weakness. So this story, or this book, starts out at the beginning in New Chicago, where David and his group of reckoners are out to get Sourcefield, one of the epics. Sourcefield has this really unique ability that she is able to transform into pure energy in order to travel through substances, walls, basically anything that can conduct energy of any kind. The more conductive it is, the quicker she can travel throughout the world. And the less conductive, obviously, the less she can travel. So they find out that Sourcefield's weakness is Kool-Aid. I know, really weird, right? Kool-Aid. But if Sourcefield is covered in Kool-Aid or swimming in Kool-Aid or doused in Kool-Aid, her powers don't work. And they're able to kill her off and rid the world of her tyranny and her terrorizing. She's not not as high in epic as Steelheart was, but still definitely very powerful. So once that's through, David and the Reckoners move on to what was formerly Brooklyn or Manhattan, uh, and they go there in order to deal with the Reckoner that is Regalia, who is the epic that is running this town. Everything seems to be perfect though. Regalia has this really cool ability to control water, and the whole city is just absolutely flooded and turned into this massive lake, with only a few buildings remaining above the surface on the higher floors. And they're there to take out Regalia, who has this ability to project herself to different locations throughout her kingdom, so to speak. But you see, while they're there is one problem. The character of Megan, who is known as the Epic Firefight, is also there. Now, David has the thing for Megan. He's totally and completely madly in love with her. And part of their plan while there is to deal with Megan, or Firefight, to take her out because she had actually killed one of the Reckoners from the cell there in Manhattan, also known as New Babylon. So he has effectively been compromised by her while he's trying to deal with the fact that the woman he loves is a bad guy. It's like, no, she can't be. There's no way. He's absolutely convinced that she is, in fact, the good guy. Now, the interesting thing about the Reckoners, which we should talk a little bit about as well, is that the Reckoners is led by this character named Prof, or the Professor. Now, the interesting thing is he himself is an epic, but he seems to be a good epic who has not been overcome with his powers to turn evil. He has this unique ability, actually, to gift his powers to others, which helps control. So he himself is not using it. It's actually the use of the powers that corrupts, but only if you yourself are an epic and have powers. But if you gift these powers to others, then it doesn't corrupt them. So he is there also, but he's struggling. He's struggling with the inherent nature of what it is to be an epic, and a high epic at that. And that's what makes it so difficult for him. And we could really see throughout the story how it has affected him and what he's been doing and how he's been trying to fight this off. And David, who is absolutely convinced that there is a possibility that someone could be an epic and not get corrupted by this evil lust for control and use their powers for bad and evil. It's this really interesting concept. What else I find really interesting about this series is the Reckoners themselves. They are effectively a terrorist organization. It's hard to say that they're not. I mean, they're a group of people who are fighting through guerrilla war tactics against an overpowering oppressor or people that are against the government of the day. They are effectively terrorists. And that is a really interesting concept, except that you're actually rooting for the terrorists. You don't normally see that in any kind of real-world concept. It's not really, oh, those horrible bad terrorists, but these guys are doing exactly what terrorists do. They're trapping and wreaking havoc and destroying and killing off those who they are opposed to in order to bring about the kind of world they want to see. And that's kind of a really interesting concept about this whole thing. And I'm loving it. The Reckoner series as a whole is just fantastic. And I would definitely recommend it. I really like this series, especially the concept. It's a unique approach to dealing with people with superpowers, essentially. And the information we find out about Calamity at the end is kind of hints at what will perhaps come about in the next novel and what we're going to learn more about. I mean, it's got your love story mixed in there. It's got comic relief in there. We've got, politics mixed in there. It's really, really a fascinating way to write this story, and it's got everything as tons of action, just tons of action. It was definitely a page turner. I mean, I got through this book in about 4 days, which is awesome because usually I spend about 10 days on a book. It's hard to put down, but just a phenomenal book series. Absolutely love it. Brandon Sanderson does not disappoint. He's definitely showing himself to be one of the best authors of the day, especially in the science fiction and fantasy realm. Really kind of interesting how it mixes both together within the series. And the things we find out about Megan, about what she really is, and she's thought to be a fire epic, but in reality she's not. I'm not going to spoil it for you by telling you what she actually is, but definitely pick up the book, read it, and check it out. Highly recommend it, but first you've got to read Steelheart, because that is the first book in the series. But we're going to move off the Reckoners for a little bit, and I'm going to pick up the next book in the series of Orson Scott Card's Pathfinder, so this is coming up next, called Visitors by Orson Scott Card. It's book 3 of the Pathfinder series. I did enjoy the first 2 books, so we'll see how this one goes. This is a pretty awesome series of books as well. I'll have to tell you a little bit about that when we do the next review. So again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and comment below, and definitely pick up The Reckoners by Brandon Sanderson. Definitely worth it. Great series, and just so awesome. So much. Easily give it 9 out of 10 bookworms. Absolutely. Thanks for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe below, and of course on the website itself, andrewsbookreviews.wordpress.com. Thank you, and you have yourself a great day.